What up, homies? It's Gypsy with part 2 of the Q&A session, and as in the last part, we will answer some of the fantastic questions that you guys left for us a few weeks ago. We want to answer all of your questions, so we'll produce multiple parts in order to save time. Hence, I always wanted to use that in a sentence. If you don't hear your specific question answered in this one, please check the future videos in this series. Also, keep in mind that between Instagram, the comments here, and our private messages, some questions were repeated by multiple people, so we had to fuse them into 1 or 2 questions. If I don't name you after reading your question, don't take it personal. I have to do it like this because I would have to name like 5 people for every other question, and then the video would never end. Now, let's get this doll party started. Here are some of the questions that I got about my doll hobby and about YouTube. When did you start YouTube? I have been a YouTuber for some years now. I actually started on a different channel, but I kind of lost touch with it because of my personal life at the time, and I had a pregnancy and a baby, so I just kind of like fell out of my YouTube channels previously. But then I jumped back into it for this channel when it used to be BCS Dolls. I kind of like forgot about my doll channel for a while again until I read some of my older comments on those videos of the Masterpiece dolls. That kind of made me motivated to create more content because I didn't realize that people actually cared about what I was posting here. So once I realized that you guys do care, I decided that I was going to take it more seriously, and that's what got me into YouTubing more seriously. So that point was probably around October or November of 2015. So kind of the channel is new, but I'm not new to YouTubing. I hope that makes sense. Do you have a dollhouse? Yes, I have several. Can you do a Barbie house tour? Yes, I can, and I will. Do you watch Froggy stuff? Yes and no. I say yes and no because I did used to watch Froggy stuff when I first discovered that there were even any doll collectors hanging out on YouTube. I think Froggy's like a really good crafter and really skilled at what she does, and I absolutely admire her drive in cultivating her doll channel. So I'm definitely a supporter of my Froggy stuff. Do you watch Sam and Mickey? Was the next question. Yes, I do watch Sam and Mickey currently. Absolutely love their channel. I think Sam and Mickey are hilarious. They're really smart. I get their humor. I know it's like really raunchy and probably very inappropriate to some people, but that's kind of right along the lines of my kind of humor, so I get them, and I do like watching their show. Can you do more doll crafts and repaints? Can you do more DIY projects for dolls? Yes, I can, and I will. Do you like buying doll props or making them better? I don't really have a preference. I think it depends on what the prop is, and some things are just easier to make and more convenient to make rather than waiting around for it to exist so that I could get it. Like, for example, I made for some of my male dolls fitted baseball caps, which I couldn't find anywhere. I was trying to buy them, but I didn't find any that I thought looked authentic enough to put on my dolls for like a hip-hop style. Like, I didn't want them to look like baseball players. I wanted them to look like guys from the hood. I had to just create them. So I experimented and I figured out how to do it, and I did make them some hats. And there's different things like that that I'll just end up making for my dolls because I can't wait around for someone to invent it. Other props I don't mind buying, like for example my Gloria set that I recently purchased from my Amazon doll haul, which you guys can go back and watch. I've got a review for that coming up soon, and you guys will be able to see what I did to customize it, but I would rather buy something like that and just kind of customize it to my taste rather than sit there and try to craft the whole thing from scratch. It just depends. When did you get your first Barbie? By the way, love your videos. And that message was from Maggie, who I want to say maybe is a new subscriber because I don't recognize that name, and if you are, then thanks for leaving that question. If not, then come hang out with us more because I recognize people's names. Well, I've had fashion dolls like Barbie since I was a kid, but most of them are actually Mimi dolls, which those of you who are in Korea or are part of Korean culture probably know. Mimi Inyoung, you know what those are, right? Those were my first fashion dolls. I didn't really relate to those dolls that much because they didn't look like my idea of what Little Women should look like. I mean, they just were like these really pale dolls with like blonde hair. Like I don't know, I didn't really get the features. They look like kind of anime characters, but I feel like anime characters look like what Asian people stereotypically think white people look like, and that to me was really bizarre, that they wouldn't just make dolls that look like Asian people because you're Asians, right? So I always thought that was kind of weird. So I didn't want like a bootleg white girl as my doll. She was cute, but I got tired of her really fast. I think I went to this American toy store that was on the army base with my parents. We'd go there sometimes, and I'd always see this little section in the store that where the Barbies were kept, and they fascinated me. And there wasn't that much diversity back then. This was like in the early 90s. It was way more than what I got from the Mimi doll line. So there was like a tan doll with dark hair, a black doll, a white Barbie with the blonde hair, and basically it was like Barbie, Teresa, and Christy, right? I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, I need them. I need this in my life. These are the kind of dolls that I really want. So I would beg my parents to buy me Barbies, but for some reason they never did. And I have no idea why. Yeah, they buy me a lot of dolls, but never Barbies. I just always had in the back of my head, I need to have a Barbie. And I remember being on the school bus on the army base, and one of my girlfriends, who was a half white and half Korean girl, she would always come on the bus with a Barbie doll, and she would let me hold the doll while we were riding on the bus in the morning and in the afternoon. And it just fascinated me. I just loved the way she looked. I loved that she had more realistic features than Mimi dolls did. I liked her hair. I liked the colors of her clothing and like the style of the clothing. Like she didn't look like she was like some kind of porcelain doll trapped in like a little vinyl doll's body. And I really wanted one. And then when I finally was able to get one was after we moved to America. My first cousin, shout out to Sharia, she actually had a really huge doll collection because she was an only child and her mom like bought her whatever she wanted. So she had all these dolls, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the bomb diggity right here. I'm in doll heaven. And I guess my aunt felt bad for me, so she took me to Toys R Us and she let me pick out whatever I wanted, and the doll that I wanted to get was a Barbie doll. So here is a picture of the first Barbie doll that I ever owned. I think that was back when I was in 3rd grade. That's when I got my first Barbie. It was when my aunt bought her for me. I hope that answered your question, Maggie. Let's see. Here are some of the questions that were asked about my personal life and my opinions. What is your favorite color? My favorite colors are black, that's number 1, yellow, and brown tones. The next question I had was, everything you're doing on social media is no doubt time consuming. Do you have a normal job outside of that? If so, how do you manage your time between work, family, the dolls, and us? By us, I'm assuming they mean you guys, the viewers. First part of the question, do you have a normal job outside of that? I love the way that they said normal job outside of that, because if I said like, yeah, I'm a stripper, I guess that doesn't count, right, as a normal job. So let's see. I don't have a normal job outside of social media, I guess, right now. It's always changing for me because I'll go in and out of work. Like sometimes I'm working and then for whatever reason I won't be, and then I'm not. Yeah, I don't really have like a career, if that was the question. It is a lot to juggle, but I don't have at this moment a job to manage my time between, so that kind of is eliminated right now. My family members are very interdependent on each other, so everyone in our household plays a specific role. I don't have this traditional house mom type of a role, I guess. Like my husband, he'll go to work, that's one of his duties, but then when he comes home from work, he's not like the kind of dad or the kind of husband that just like sits in front of the TV with a remote and a beer and just switches channels all day long and grunts. Like that's not how he is. He's very engaged in the household itself. He helps me a lot around the house. He helps me like to clean, and whenever we go grocery shopping, he always like comes with me and helps me pick out stuff and carry the bags in and out of the car. And he's really hands-on with the family, so I don't end up having to do 90% of the family responsibility just as the mom alone, if that makes sense. And then my son, who's like 10 right now, Ginu, he's super helpful. He's always like doing chores and helping out with his little sister, you know, and then he manages his schoolwork. He actually goes to school from home. He's got like an online education that he's doing, so that gives him a lot of time to interact with the household. Everybody in our house kind of pitches in. They help out with the family work, and we don't really put all of the responsibility of anything on each other. That takes a lot of load off for me. With the dolls, I try to space out what I do with the dolls, I'll go into like specific modes. Like I'll be in like craft mode for a week where all I'm doing is crafting stuff, and then I'll be like in film mode for a week. I'm just filming and filming and filming all these different videos, but somehow that works for me. I'll have like just, I don't know, a whole weekend when I want to just dress my dolls. I'll just restyle them, or I'll do like a repaint session and I'll just bang out like 4 dolls in one session. And then with you guys on YouTube, just throughout the course of every other day, like every 48 hours, I'll check the YouTube comments, the Instagram comments, and just kind of try to answer everybody all at one time when I can. That for now seems to be working. I mean, at the level that our channel is at right now, I think it's manageable for us to do it this way. It is time consuming, but it's not too much for us to handle, because if it was, then we wouldn't be having videos up regularly, right? When starting a collection, how do you finance your money to both family matters and making your collection grow? Well, that question doesn't 100% pertain to me, because most of the finances that I put into my dolls isn't really my money. It's my husband's money. So if he has extra money that he can buy me dolls with, then that's basically where I get money to get my dolls right now, because I don't work. But when I was working, I mean, my dolls don't come first. I don't like buy dolls first and then go do everything else later. All of our household bills and responsibilities get taken care of first, and then if there's anything left over, then we'll try and go and get dolls. But if you're wondering about how to make your collection grow, I just looked out in the last few months to find a lot of dolls that were on sale that were also dolls that I liked. That's normally what we do. We don't buy dolls at regular price. We always try to find dolls on sale. Always family and responsibilities come first and then dolls. So there have been dolls that I've missed because I had to pay bills instead of get the doll, you know? And there's dolls that I'm waiting to get just because that's not in my budget at this moment. And now here are the questions that were directed at my husband or to the entire channel, not just to me, Gypsy. So Adonis is here to help me answer some of those questions. The first question is from Epic Crazy Life, who said, how much time would you say you guys spend on editing hours per video?
I'm gonna preface my answer by stating this. I probably spend too much time editing because I'm not only the person that's making a video, I'm also a watcher of the video. I know what I'm looking for to be entertained when I'm watching the video. A video could take 9 hours to edit. I'll do the first 5 or 6 hours and then Gypsy will do the rest, or vice versa. The least amount of time is probably maybe 2 hours, and then the most amount of time, 24 hours, like an entire day. But it's never one of us just the entire 24 hours. But that's the thing about having a partner. You never have to do all of the work. Even though you can do all the work yourself, your partner wants to come in and help. And because we all need help, you just will fall back and say, yeah, I appreciate the help. So I actually got to give a shout out to Epic Crazy Life. Actually kind of weird because I was just flying around YouTube and I heard this track that somebody put together off of, you know, this Christmas beat, and I was like, yo, that's dope. Who made this track? And I think he told me who made it, and I was like, oh man, I just subscribed because, you know, the beat was dope. And it's a totally different genre. He doesn't even do the type of videos that we do, and you know, he showed love, came over and subscribed to us. I mean, that's just what it is. So on a side note, for you people who are out there making videos, listening to this, don't be afraid to interact with people who have nothing to do with dolls. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all people.
All right, thanks for that. The next question was, do you come up with a whole backstory for your dolls, or do you just write your scripts from day to day? Some of our dolls we come up with backstories for prior to scripts, but also to answer the last part of that question first, actually, we don't really have any scripts. We don't script the Broken Barbie show. Whatever you think of when you think of scripts, that's not what we do. What we do is we brainstorm between the two of us what type of story we want to tell, and then based on the theme of the story we want to tell, we just kind of brew like what should happen in the episode, and we figure out what characters are going to be in the episode. Then we kind of just talk off the top of our head, I guess, if that makes sense. But Adonis, you can help me explain some of this too.
We come up with the backstory like on the fly. There's a lot of comedy that goes into the show because Gypsy and I have comedic personalities. We're not comedians, we just have the personality that a funny writer would have. So basically our backstories are modeled after real people that we see, whether we know these people or not. For instance, Kimber is based off of somebody we know. Other people are based off of caricatures that we know, like Uncle Nig. He's not based off of a person. we know he's more like based off of several persons we both know.
Now the last question. Why is this called Broken Barbie TV? Is it literally about a broken Barbie? That's an awesome question, and we'll be ending this session with the answer to that. Firstly, we named this channel after our doll series, Broken Barbie Show. And the concept for the show is what this channel reflects on different levels. The main reason we call ourselves Broken Barbie is not because there are any literal dolls being broken on the channel. Don't worry, no dolls are harmed in the making of our videos. We feel that the word Barbie has a lot of images associated with that when people hear it or when they see it. And the things that Barbie represent are stereotypes that we don't necessarily agree with when it comes to dolls or collecting in general.
I'm not even gonna put y'all on a spot like that. I'll tell y'all what I thought as a person outside of the doll community when I first heard Barbie. Plastic, fake, for girls, ditzy, because Barbie, like totally Barbie. That's what I thought of when I thought of Barbie. What Gypsy was telling me she wanted to do with the dolls, I was like, man, that's on some urban hood stuff. Yes, that's dope. Let's do that. Like I don't think of Ebonics when I think of Barbie. I don't think of rap when I think of Barbie. I don't think of nothing urban when I think of Barbie. That being said, the Broken Barbie TV is we're breaking the stereotype of what you think of Barbie. We don't have all of these traditional Barbie, blonde, blue-eyed, anorexic, no butt, just walking around, hi guys, being all dumb. Who wants to live up to that? There may be some people like that, but it's kind of degrading to say that anyone named Barbara or Barbie would have this connotation attached to their name. I wouldn't want nobody to think of me as some ditz.
Yeah, and for the record, we feel like anybody can play with a doll. You don't have to be a child. You don't have to be a girl. You don't have to be gay. Anybody can play with a doll. My husband and my son play with dolls. Well, they play with me, but they're not gay. Trust me, they're not. So if you're a straight male doll collector, you shouldn't feel like you're a pervert or a pedophile just because you like dolls. I think it just means you have good taste in women.
Even if you are that, if you do, not a pedophile. If you're a pedophile, that's you gotta go ahead with that. But even if you are a gay dude, it's like, so what? If you're gay, if you're LGBT, man, you do whatever. Just, are you a jerk? That's my benchmark. Are you a jerk? Nah, you're not? Okay, let's rock.
So we definitely don't believe that this iconic image of Barbie represents everybody who supports their brand. There's a lot of people from different colors, races, ages, backgrounds, body types, hairstyles, genders who like to play with dolls. They should absolutely see themselves reflected in their miniature world. So this is the reason why we call ourselves Broken Barbie TV. We're not your average Barbie fan that just accepts anything dished out to us just because it has the Barbie logo on it. I hope that wasn't too difficult for all of you guys to understand, and we don't mind if you disagree. Tell us why in the comments so that we can open a dialogue about our views as collectors. Again, we thank all of you who participated in asking us these really great questions. These aren't even half of the questions y'all asked, so we'll answer more in the future Q&A videos. Special thanks to Adonis Duro, who helps keep this channel alive. His biggest contribution would be the funds applied to all of the dolls and craft supplies that go into making these videos. Yeah, so if you guys want to help him out, give him a little break, definitely consider supporting this channel and leave a comment if you want to know how to do that. But he's also responsible for coming up with ideas for stories that we tell on the Broken Barbie Show by acting them out with our cast of diverse dolls. So please remember that the show is directed at mature viewers. We do not encourage any children to watch the show without adult consent. Now, Adonis, would you like to share some parting words with our viewers and omit the bit about how some of them have ugly dolls this time?
I guess I could say that MC Smack 'em Up is a caricature of my actual dude. My dude actually gave me permission to use. He's like, hey, yo, son, man, you can't be telling everybody, hey, son, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm gonna leave y'all with.
Alright, for you new viewers, the subscribe button is right where it always has been. So do consider pressing it before you leave. Also, get up with us over on Instagram. That's where you will hear news about what's happening behind the scenes and in between videos. You can also get to know some of our characters prior to them making an appearance on the Broken Barbie Show. Shout out to our viewers over in India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. We know some of you guys can't leave comments from your countries, but we totally appreciate your support, and we just wanted to acknowledge that publicly.
Also, shout out to my people in Malaysia, my people in Denmark, Russia. Yo, I see you over there in Russia subscribing to us. That's what's up. To my peoples in Puerto Rico, I see y'all out there too.
So does Julissa. Let me stop. Okay. Man, all our international viewers are from places full of beautiful people, aren't they?
Yeah, shout out to that one subscriber from Austria. Yeah, that's a really nice avatar. So that's really nice. So shout out to you and like your peoples out there in Austria.
All right, well, we'll see you guys soon. Until next time, have a dolly day.